I want to talk about grief after a narcissistic relationship ends. When you leave or you're discarded by a narcissist, there is so much to grieve. And I know that there are so many shoulds thrown at the victims of narcissists and similar pathological personalities, like you should be glad it's over, you should be glad you're out of the relationship, you should be happy, should. But the reality is, you should be sad. You should be devastated. You didn't want this to happen. You tried so hard to make this relationship work. And at one point you thought that you'd met your person. This relationship changed you fundamentally. This person got into your soul. And this person systematically, psychologically, and emotionally, spiritually, layer by layer, broke you down in such a way, got you to such a level of desperation that you didn't even know you could reach. And you have to grieve not only the good parts and the love bombing version of them, the person that you thought you were getting in the beginning, and the ways that you felt in the good times, but you have to grieve the fact that you know now that this type of person exists, that someone you could love that much and have so much authentic care for could abuse you. You have to grieve the fact that you were abused. You have to grieve the fact that you were systematically, psychologically, emotionally, spiritually, layer by layer, deconstructed, literally psychologically reorganized. And the terrible thing is, just because you realize that they're a shit person, that they've been lying to you the whole time, that betrayal blindness starts to lift and you start to see what they've actually been doing the entire time, it doesn't mean that you get out of grieving. And the way that we process our feelings and emotions and the way that we heal is by feeling them. Even just understanding what happened to you, understanding these personalities, working out how they operate, the tactics, the grooming, the calculated nature of the way that they operate, the way that they've worked so hard to get into your psyche, the way that they've convinced you that you're the problem. That's a whole lot of grief in itself. The fact that this person who you thought you knew could turn into a complete stranger, turn on a dime, and no matter how much time you've spent with them, just decide that they don't want it anymore and disappear. And not only that, but be completely impervious to your pain and be completely unmoved by the things that they've done to you, and in fact turn everything around to tell you that it was all your fault. And the way that someone that you could invest so much into, that you could love so much, even through all of the abuse and the ways that they've treated you, could just turn on a dime like that and disappear or monkey branch to a new source of supply without a care in the world about you, your feelings, or having any respect for the relationship that you guys have shared. And here's another thing that's really hard about the grieving process. It takes time. It changes and evolves over time. And it takes a lot longer to process and heal from one of these relationships than it does a normal one. And a lot of the time you have to wait for long enough to be out of the relationship long enough that your body starts to feel safe to even access a whole lot of these emotions, because a lot of the time people are initially in shock and they can't access those feelings, or they feel fundamentally unsafe feeling and expressing their emotions because they've been conditioned by the narcissist to suppress. Let me know in the comments if you've experienced this. And if you're new here, I'm a narcissistic abuse educator and a narcissistic relationship recovery coach. Make sure you hit follow and you can book a session with me through the link in my bio.